On December 12, 2023, BTS's Jimin and Jungkook began their conscription journey at the 5th Infantry Division Recruitment Training Center in Yongkyon. Their presence at the training camp attracted the attention of many, mainly due to their courteous attitude and dedication during the training period. A teaching assistant at the training center revealed that Jimin and Jungkook always bowed 90 degrees as a sign of respect to the instructors and their colleagues. This humble gesture earned the praise of many in the camp. During the training, both also showed high spirits in learning to use firearms. Photos circulated showed them wearing full military uniforms, including face masks and black gloves to protect themselves from the cold weather. Jungkook and Jimin looked focused while training, showing their dedication in carrying out state duties. After completing 5 weeks of basic training, Jimin managed to achieve the feat of being the best trainee, receive an award from the division commander, and take the oath as the representative of all trainees in his unit. This achievement confirms his dedication and hard work during the training period. The story of Jimin and Jungkook's journey through military service became an inspiration to many fans, showing that despite being famous idols, they still carry out their duties with full responsibility and humility. Title: Jimin and Jungkook. Journey in the military camp. After several weeks of training at a military camp, Jimin and Jungkook begin to get used to the harsh routine. Waking up before sunrise, exhausting physical exercises, and strict discipline became part of their daily lives. Days at training camp. On a cold morning, the alarm went off loudly, waking up the entire trainee. Jimin squirmed for a moment before quickly making his bed. Jungkook, who has been accustomed to tight schedules since his trainee days in Big Hit, immediately prepared. They encourage each other before marching with other colleagues. "Hey, we have shooting practice today, right?" asked Jungkook with sparkling eyes. Jimin nodded. "Yes. Are you ready?" Jungkook smiled confidently. "Always." Shooting practice and new challenges. During the shooting practice session, Jungkook showed his natural talent. With a steady hand and sharp focus, he managed to hit the target many times. The instructors nodded in satisfaction. Meanwhile, Jimin initially had difficulty adjusting to the weapon's weight and strong recoil. However, with unyielding determination, he continued to train, listening to every direction from the instructor and advice from Jungkook. "Take it easy, Hyung. Take a deep breath before pressing the trigger," Jungkook whispered. Jimin tried the suggestion, and the bullet he fired finally hit the target accurately. He smiled in relief, while Jungkook raised his thumb proudly. A night in the dorm. Warm chats and old memories. After a day of training, the evening is a valuable rest time. In the dormitory, Jimin and Jungkook sat on their beds, chatting casually. "Hyung, this reminds me of when we were trainees at Big Hit," Jungkook said as he stretched his body. Jimin laughed a little. "That's right, too. But come to think of it, our training used to be pretty hard too." "Huh? The difference is that now we don't just dance and sing. We are truly part of something bigger." Jungkook stared at the dorm ceiling. Jimin nodded. "We are doing this for our country, for our families, and for the army." Their conversation was interrupted when the voice of command sounded. "Time for bed." They both smiled at each other and went back to their respective beds, preparing to face a challenging tomorrow. Towards awards and recognition. A few weeks later, Jimin got a big surprise. He was called to the front during the closing ceremony of the training. "Park Jimin. As the trainee with the best performance, you get the award directly from the division commander." Jungkook, who stood in the back row, held back a proud smile. Jimin accepted the award gratefully, proving that his hard work was not in vain. As they lined up for the closing ceremony, Jimin and Jungkook looked at each other and nodded slowly. They have gone through one of the biggest challenges of their lives and succeeded. Beyond the gates of the camp, the future awaits. However, for now, they are enjoying their moment of success as warriors who have grown stronger, not only as idols, but also as youths ready to face the world. After completing basic training successfully, Jimin and Jungkook are officially placed in their respective units. Although they are not always together on one task, they still support each other and keep each other's spirits up. First day in the new unit. On a cold morning, Jimin stood in the ranks of the troops, wearing his military uniform with great pride. As a soldier who has completed training with high achievements, he is given greater responsibility within his unit. Meanwhile, Jungkook also began his duties in other units. With his strong physique and incredible mental endurance, He quickly adapts to his new environment. When they meet back at the military canteen after a tiring first day, Jungkook greets Jimin with a chuckle. "Hyung, how was your day?" he asked while sipping hot soup. Jimin sighed. "Not worth it. I have to lead the marching exercises." "You alone?" Jungkook smiled. "I had to run with heavy equipment. It feels like a stamina workout in Big Hit, but a military version." They both chuckled a little, realizing that despite being in a different world from the entertainment industry, their hardworking spirit remained the same. Field missions and endurance tests. A few weeks later, their unit gets a training mission in the jungle. For several days, they had to survive on limited supplies, walk for hours through difficult terrain, and face physical and mental challenges. On one of the cold nights, they sat around a small campfire with other soldiers. One of their colleagues asked, "What is it like to be a famous idol and then suddenly be in the military?" Jungkook smiled and replied, "It's very different, but it also teaches a lot. We learn to work in a team in a new way." Jimin added, "On stage, we try to give our best for the army. Here, we give our best to our colleagues and the country." That night, they shared their stories, adding to a stronger bond of friendship with their peers. Farewell day and return to early lifetime passed, and it was time for Jimin and Jungkook to finish their military service. A discharge ceremony was held, and they received the last honors as warriors. As they left the gates of the military camp, they looked back for a moment. Places that used to feel foreign are now part of their life's journey. "We did it, Hyung," Jungkook said with a smile. Jimin nodded. "Yes, now it's time to go back home and to the army." With steady steps, they walk towards the future they have been waiting for, bringing with them experiences, discipline, and memories they will never forget.